So Nigeria isn't overpopulated during Obasanjo time. Nigeria isn't overpopulated in Yar'Adua time. Nigeria is still even not overpopulated during Goodluck Jonathan time. And still, even as Buhari said Nigerians youth are lazy, Nigeria still isn't overpopulated within that time. Then suddenly, somebody just came out of nowhere who didn't got the seat by the right route. And suddenly Nigeria become overpopulated. I think it's going to be very simple. It's going to be very easy for Nigerian to absorb and understand if a bat told Nigeria that US or Bill Gates said that Nigerian is overpopulated. That would be a very simple thing to understand. And as he's talking about Nigeria being overpopulated, how has he been able to curb or try to put any measures in order to improve the living standard of the so-called overpopulated country? Instead, he is making things extremely difficult, causing inflation here and there, and plunging Nigerian life's welfare into chaos. And now his own way of trying to solve the riddle of the so-called overpopulation is through vaccination, is secret vaccination, because this very topic which I'm talking about here, it didn't start in an English language but in a Yoruba language. So, which means there are certain faction of people that they are targeting. Definitely, it's not going to be Yoruba people. It can be any part of other Nigerian tribe and but not Yorubas. So what I'm gonna say on that very note is congratulations to most of you who are still locked in the paradigm of disbelief that this is not real or whatsoever. Go ahead and take the vaccine. So after the construction of COVID, what I call the coronavirus by US in collaboration with some others, and it didn't go far in Nigeria because Nigeria refused to take it, even as it's televised. It didn't go well. And in fact, I did actually see people who often try to preach about it come by 4 a.m. when people are still asleep, because they know that if they should try it within the daytime, then they will be forced to take it, So my dear, let me take you a little bit further to see for yourself some other countries who have had this overpopulation and how they are dealing with it and how it's boosting their economy. So what other thing which I'm going to say is, if the rest of the 4 presidents who have gone before him didn't see it as overpopulation, then and he is the one who is seeing it as a overpopulation, then he is the problem, not Nigeria. He is Nigerian problem. But is Nigerian problem, simply put. When we talk about overpopulation, we cannot overemphasize about overpopulation without mentioning India, China, and unfortunately, a lot of you might not know that the current president of India is actually a woman. The question is, what have China done that Nigeria is failing to do? That is the question. As a matter of fact, Nigerian political system lacks transparency and credibility. And that is where Bola Tinubu Bat comes in. The person who would have changed that very narrative is Mr. Peter Obi. Whether you like it or not, is Peter Obi. Because why? He have done it before and he will do it again. And this is no-brainer for every political elite who are currently in Nigeria, plunging Nigeria into chaos, anarchy, and doom. Previously, Nigeria has its own fair share of fresh air, just like the man who brought it. But there are some faction of people who were very quick to criticize him and even going to the point of trying to, say that he's the worst president. Not even trying to, they're saying that he's the worst president, and that is the Yoruba people when he was ruling. That he made the country so ungovernable, that he look at the exchange rate. But I do recollect vividly that the Goodluck Jonathan did not, for any time during his tenure, devalue Nigerian currency. Neither did Obasanjo. Obasanjo may did, but I didn't recollect Goodluck Jonathan doing that. And Musa Yar'Adua also didn't. But the Nigerian situation started taking a dark turn when it comes to Buhari. Buhari devalued Nigerian currency more than 3 times. If you don't know what the devaluation of Nigerian currency means, it means that Nigeria have to work 1,000 times in order to get whatever a US citizen is going to work 1 time to get. That is what it means. If the dollar is 1,000 naira and if the pounds is 2,000 naira, it means Nigeria have to work 2,000 times harder to earn what any UK citizens is earning. If euro is 5,000, it means Nigeria have to work 5,000 times to purchase any item that is coming from that very country, that European country. So now let's talk about the overpopulation. As I said at the context of this very video, you cannot talk about overpopulation without mentioning China and without mentioning India. So the great question is, how did they pull it off? They pulled it off because human population is not a threat. It is only a threat to those who are incompetent, those who lacks credibility, those who are incapacitated to be where they are. And so all they have to offer is to rant and complain. Buhari never talked about Nigeria being overpopulated, despite the fact that he devalued Nigerian currency and took the fuel price from 87 naira to 196 before he stepped down. Goodluck Jonathan never talked about Nigerian overpopulation, even amid pressure from Barack Obama and United States of America with different kinds of propaganda, bring back our girls, Boko Haram, and all that. He still withstood the pressure, but to some certain point where the pressure becomes very overwhelming, that is when he now decided that no, that his political ambition does not want any blood spill of Nigerian, and decided to allow the vote casted for his second tenure to be trampled upon. And Buhari was declared the winner. Now, Tinubu has just been sworn 5 months ago, and now he's talking about Nigeria is overpopulated. He is one of the worst and terrible and incompetent so-called president ever. By nature, he has been retired. He's supposed to be resting. He have no... I don't think he can think correctly right now or think creatively or constructively on how to move Nigerian economy further. Now, the person who would correct this very mess, who would have done better, who would have done, in fact, even much more better than Goodluck Jonathan is Peter Obi. But the faction who is now hijacking Nigerian power would not allow that to be. And that is why they make sure they compromised. The way I'm saying it, Ahmed Tinubu, or Bat as you call him, is just the frontier, is just the signpost. There are a lot of people who are behind him, telling him to go, telling him to be there. And these people are the ones compromising your judiciary. These people are the same people manipulating the electoral result, the bypass, telling Mahmoud that nothing is going to happen. So now, let's look at the bigger picture. Human population is never a threat. Human population is actually a mega infrastructure of its own that propels development, human resources. For instance, China that has billion of population, how did they do it? They realize the potential that lies in there. And 1 person out of every 5 family in China has a factory. It's a production state. It's a productive family. And that is what Mr. Peter Obi Gregory is trying to bring in 2023. And they saw it because there are a lot of people, a lot of witchcraft, a lot of people who are there, bloodsuckers, parasites, who do not want Nigerian to breathe fresh air. Now, the same Yoruba who have so much speak against Goodluck Jonathan that he is the worst president, a lot of them are silent right now because their own brother, who is Bat, is coming in just about 5 months. The fuel price has gone outrageously, the worst it has ever recorded in Nigerian history. 640 per liter is not a joke. He is busy copying US standard of price to inflate cost of things in Nigeria and inflict hardship. And it doesn't end there. Within the first 2 months of him in office, he devalued Nigerian currency at one time, just one time. Buhari did it 4 times. Buhari took it from 199 that it was after election to 225. Sorry, 250. From 250 to 300, from 300 to 350, from 350 to 465. It was at 365 when Ahmed Tinubu, who claimed he read accountant and quickly hijacked the official rate and took it to $770 per naira. On a time that he wanted to unify the parallel market with the official rate. And now look at what is going on the parallel market. But don't be deceived. That is actually a move that is being inspired by his pushover counterparts who are pushing him over from the US because of his drug cases and narcotics and all that. So he's now being a puppet to them and doing what they want him to do. Now, a lot of you people, I'm trying to broaden your spectrum of thinking so you can be able to understand where this is stemming from. Because when a chicken wakes up in the morning and starts chasing you, then there is a plot somewhere, there is a conspirator somewhere that you need to, conscript is somewhere you need to understand. Who was previously talking about the population of the world is Bill Gates, right? And they started, they manufactured the vaccine, they manufactured the coronavirus, and that didn't go far. They sent the vaccine to Nigeria, and it didn't go far because the officials who they gave the palliative money made a mess with it and burned down the office building. I hope you guys didn't forget that, the NCDC, and who were brought to act a drama which wasn't actually a thorough interrogation. That is not how EFCC or DSS interrogate people. That is mere acting drama in the house, trying to ask him some sort of silly questions, and he started acting along. And what happens? He died there, the case died there, the money vanished. Didn't see. Now, the reason why it vanished because all of these people who are sitting as your political elite, they all have their own hand stains. None of them have the right moral justification to question anyone who is looting money or stealing. And that is why Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself couldn't investigate the billions of dollars that was pumped into Nigerian refinery by Buhari. Instead, choose to give Nigerian a false hope that the fuel cost is going to reduce when you start issuing all this useless nonsense. Guess what? What about the cost of the fuel salary that he increased? He have reduced the money back, but the fuel price is still going up. So it is left for a lot of you guys who don't know what is coming because there is still more that is coming. in as much as he's still a puppet. Okay, the recent war he wants to engage with Nigeria, how does it concern him? Is the pipeline that he's making sure that's going to be supplying LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, to Europe. Why in Nigeria here the cost is still going up? It's still going up, but Nigeria is constantly doing gas flaring every single day. My point here is Tinubu lacks credibility, lacks competency. In fact, he shouldn't even take matters of his family. He's too old to be able to take matters of his family. I mean, to be the father of the family. He is too old right now that he need to sit somewhere and let someone preside it. Not even to talk about as big as Nigeria. Now, when we talk about the population of Nigeria, there are a lot of people who are making a very big mistake. We have United States of America, and we have United Kingdom. What is the population of Scotland, if I may ask you? Most of you might not know, but it is very little. What is the population of Belgium? I will confidently tell you that some local government in Nigeria is more than a state in US. It's not about the land mass. We're talking about population. And so since Ahmed Tinubu has failed on several counts, and he is a product of incompetence to the highest level, what else do you expect him to say? That Nigerian is overpopulated and therefore started speaking in Yoruba. So for them to have that discussion in Yoruba means that they are targeting a certain faction of the Nigerian. It could be the East or the North, because if it is not so, then they should speak it in English. And this is not even being carried by the news media. That is for you to know how dangerous it is. So the reason for this very video here is to warn you to abstain from any vaccination, whether free or paid for, either for you or your kids, except you want them dead. Then fine. But if you don't want them dead, you want to stay away from anything of such, because as his own level of incompetence is going up, he's still constantly being pressured by the US. And don't be surprised, they're also having hand in manipulating the US. United States of America is also having hand in manipulating the judiciary, threatening them. Why did you think US is pushing democratic system of governance? In the reality, what is in their mind is not democracy, it's hypocrisy. They are trying to make sure that they put democratic system of governance. Now, where you are going to understand where US is going with a democratic system of governance is, what is the highest expenditure in budget? Is it about trying to feed the poor? No. Is it about trying to improve the welfare of their citizens? The answer is no. It is in the military. So if they are spending so much in military, building nuclear arsenals and military arsenals, so it means that they are trying to make the rest of the people to become divided using the democratic system of governance. I'm going to explain it to you before the end of this very video here. Then when that happens, they become the sole people who have the greatest military asset and power. So they will tell you what to do, just like they're telling different countries what to do right now. If you refuse, then they'll start blowing you up into half. So this is a very serious political situation that, in fact, a time bomb. If we don't have countries like China, Russia, and North Korea, US might have, in fact, they wouldn't mind to level up any country which they want, imposing their hypocrisy. If they're so much like the democracy, why are they going into war with different countries and sanctioning whomever doesn't want them to checkmate them, just like what is happening between them and Russia and Ukraine right now? So, guys, this is real. And I want you to understand the media is completely fooling most of you. When I mean media, the media in the US is controlled by CIA and NSA and all their brothers. Then in Nigeria, they have a faction also who also controls the media and filters every truth from the news that you read. So the way you can be able to get the real truth about what is going on is independent, who are not who are not being infiltrated or who are not being politicized by government agencies. So this very video which you're talking about here have been deleted. The main raw video else, I have looked for it to make sure that I found it, and I couldn't find it. It would have gladdened my heart that I'm going to share it with you so you listen to it in the Yoruba language which it was broadcasted before they started implementing. So if you still want to doubt, go ahead and take it, and when you die, then I think that's pretty much it. But if suppose he is not a product of failure or incompetence, then he should be able to manage Nigerian population and turn Nigeria from consumption state into a production state. And in so doing, you don't even, Nigerian population as it's rising, it is a welcome idea. If US has had that kind of population, that would have been fine. But US quickly checkmate their own population, even despite the fact that their citizens are still have been poor, broke, hungry, and homeless. They don't care. What they want is to checkmate countries and loot countries dry. That is their own state. That's their own politics. While Nigeria is busy playing a puppet to them, especially our leaders, our so-called leaders, and starving our own citizens of the necessities and implementing useless policies that make life living hell in Nigeria. So I do actually feel for Nigerians because they're very gullible. They're divided by political views, religion, and tribal sentiment. If you remove this, the Nigerian can be able to come together and say enough is enough with all this rubbish. So the Tinubu saying that Nigeria is overpopulated is a second wave of the COVID-19 that they didn't work out well. So guys, this is how I'm going to be leaving it. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now. And this is no brainer for every political elite who are currently in Nigeria, plunging Nigeria into chaos, anarchy, and doom. Previously, Nigeria has its own fair share of fresh air, just like the man who brought it. But there are some faction of people who were very quick to criticize him and even going to the point of trying to, say that he's the worst president. Not even trying to, they're saying that he's the worst president, and that is the Yoruba people when he was ruling. That he made the country so ungovernable, that he look at the exchange rate. But I do recollect vividly that the good Lord Jonathan did not, for any time during his tenure, devalue Nigerian currency. Neither did Obasanjo. Obasanjo may did, but I didn't recollect good Lord Jonathan doing that. And Musa Yar'Adua also didn't. But the Nigerian situation started taking a dark turn when it comes to Buhari. Buhari devalued Nigerian currency more than 3 times. If you don't know what the devaluation of Nigerian currency means, it means